You're going to love it. I guarantee it.
This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends. What's going on? Today is Monday. It is March 20th. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man, and we're coming to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. For everybody that's just now getting with us on YouTube, make sure you're involved in our YouTube chat. For those of you that are just coming to us right now, you're part of our network of audio podcast platforms: Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Amazon Music, iHeart, wherever you're listening to us. Glad to have you guys all here. And for everybody that's using the more traditional old school mediums like terrestrial radio, glad you guys are out there listening, driving around. And for everybody that's going to catch up to us on TV tonight, glad you guys are here as well. So look, it's Monday, which means there was a ton of stuff that happened over the weekend. I think like top of mind kind of things that I want to talk about today, the NCAA tournament, and very specifically how San Diego State now faces the number one seed in the entire tournament in Alabama. And I mentioned to you last week that related to Alabama, I knew the headlines, the story. There's the kid, and there's something that goes down with a murder of some kind. And then there's another kid on the team who's like the best young guy, and there's a gun. I mean, when I say I don't really know the story, I'm telling you, I don't really know the story. This week, though, as Alabama, the number one seed, gets ready to take on San Diego State, I think we're all going to probably learn a lot more about these stories. One thing I will say about San Diego State, I read an article early this morning in The Athletic that said, the path is clear now for Alabama. Like there was no respect at all for San Diego State, and there's no respect for who Alabama might face should they beat San Diego State. Man, wouldn't it be awesome in a year where number one seeds have been upset, where yet again, for the second time in the history of the NCAA tournament, a number one seed gets knocked off by a 16 seed. Wouldn't it be freaking awesome if San Diego State beats Alabama? And Alabama, they're not Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, UCLA. They're not Memphis or Louisville or Kentucky. They don't have like this long string of greatness for years. I'm telling you, man, San Diego State under the radar in a year of upsets. Let's go pull that upset. So definitely going to get into the NCAA basketball tournament. Lots of news from Padres spring training, including a bunch of injuries. We'll get to that. And the World Baseball Classic, even though Browner says nobody's watching, but everybody's going to be watching because tomorrow the U.S. is going to be in the final. Who they're going to play, we'll discuss that coming up because that game's going to happen while we're on the air. So we'll get there as well. Bunch of other things that we're going to get to this afternoon that like Lakers last night. I mean, this is now Austin Reeves' team. Yeah. LeBron's sitting there, wearing his sunglasses. And Anthony Davis, I mean, on Friday night, the disastrous finish against Dallas. And then Austin Reeves takes over last night. So we'll find out if Grande's back on board with his team. So just getting going, just getting onto the air. These are thoughts off the top of my mind coming off of a weekend. Let's get to it. Grande, Brown Man, good afternoon, fellas. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. How we feeling, Grande?
Oh, I feel great. I mean, how can you not feel great? This was one of those weekends where my obscure sports had a fantastic weekend, and my mainstream sports had a fantastic weekend. The Aztecs making another Sweet 16. That was the least stressful I've ever watched a San Diego State game on Saturday. Every game is close with them, and that one was just a breeze. It was nice. That was a nice change of pace. But yeah, it was a really good weekend in sports. Things that we don't need to talk about, like F1 and Man U, but it was the number one thing for me is the Aztecs and now the declining Padres health of all these players that are not getting hurt at the World Baseball Classic. They're getting hurt in spring training. So cancel spring training. Can we?
Right.
I think we've had enough of spring training, right? Like we're ready for opening day. Yeah. At this point, we're good to go.
Well, today's Monday, March 20th. And opening day, check me, is on
Thursday, March 30th.
Okay, I knew the date, the 30th. I just wasn't sure of the day of the week. Thursday, March 30th. By the way, still putting together plans as to where we are planning to podcast / broadcast that day. Nothing is in stone yet, but we still have 10 days to figure this thing out. And we'll let everybody know if we're planning on doing a live podcast. We'll let you know where we're going to be, and we'll let you know what time, but it's still all being dealt with. And listen, as I've said many times, I mean, this is what happens when you don't work for a radio station any longer, or you don't work for a TV station. I mean, just to give you an example, I work for a radio station in LA. This past weekend, they put on a pickleball tournament. 64 teams all paid $100 to get into this pickleball tournament. There were literally thousands of people there. There was all this activation going on. There's a Pizza Hut place and a Johnsonville hot dog place. And I don't even know what else was going, kids zone and beer garden and blah, blah, blah. I mean, there were people everywhere. There were people working everywhere. There were brands activating on site. That's a giant radio station with lots of people. We don't work for a radio station. There's 3 of us. So when I tell you we're putting together May 4th at 7 Mile Casino for our dinner and our comedy show, when I tell you that we're putting together March 30th for opening day in our broadcast downtown, I'm not joking when I tell you it's the 3 of us. That's it. There is no support of any kind. So anyway, give us a break is I guess what I'm saying. Browner, good afternoon. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, man. I got to tell you, I think I've seen maybe 3 halves of a national championship team this weekend, including the Thursday game and the Saturday game. That's a national championship. That's a national champion right there. Those three halves. The second half of the first game and the entire game of the following, both halves of the following game. That defense, that can beat Alabama. Because the kid who is their number one didn't even score in the first game. So there are aspects of Alabama that can be had now. Because I've had a chance to watch them twice too. Like a real detailed sit down and watch, see who can do what. San Diego State can beat them. And San Diego State can beat, not easily. It is going to be a hard one, but they can win that game. I have no doubt. This is a 50-50. This thing is a toss-up. And if I didn't believe this last week. This time last week, I didn't think San Diego State could beat Alabama. I'm going into the game on Friday believing 100% that they will win the game. And I couldn't have said that when this tournament started. I really couldn't. So Aztec Nation, y'all got to be ready. Y'all got to be ready.
Yeah. And it's pretty funny. Like Alabama is at a much higher class than Charleston, but they have similar stats where they score a lot. Yeah. They shoot a lot of threes.
A lot of threes.
But they don't make a lot of threes. Their field goal percentage is terrible, but they just score a lot. I think they're like 7th in the country because they got a lot of size. And that's one thing that they're going to – I mean, Furman on Saturday, I was surprised by their size. They had a lot of guys up there, 6'8", 6'9". I was very surprised they didn't do anything with it. But I think that Alabama and Charleston – don't get me wrong, Alabama was much better than Charleston. But Brandon Miller is an NBA player. Mm-hmm. That dude is 6'9". He is a wing. He's going to be good, I think, in the NBA. He looks good. So it'll be a big challenge. But Browner, I think I kind of disagree on one thing. I don't think it's the defense that is going to be the difference. They got to score. And San Diego State is so up and down offensively that's my biggest concern. If they make shots like they did against Furman, they have a shot. If they look like they looked against Charleston, they're going to lose by like 15, 20.
This is why I think they have a chance, and I think it's totally driven by defense. Because they're going to miss a lot of shots. They're going to, against a team like Alabama, they're going to have that Furman 4 minutes where they just can't make a shot. They 11. Make turnovers. Whatever the
Furman
number
11
is.
minutes.
It was 11 minutes. 0 field goals, 11 minutes.
That's going to happen against Alabama. It's going to happen. But what they will never stop doing is playing defense. And I thought that they didn't have the horses to run from the defensive standpoint with Alabama. After watching them and then watching Alabama, oh yeah, they do. They do. They got the bodies. The question is, can the 11 minutes be 4 minutes? Can the 11 minutes be cut down to 5 minutes? If you can do that.
Oh, you're talking about Aztecs not scoring. Sorry.
Yes.
Furman. Yeah.
No.
I don't think they had a field goal drought against Furman for the first time ever. I don't recall one. Maybe early in the
first game.
Okay, yeah.
Here's the thing. So So San Diego State played Charleston, and it was a competitive game, and we knew that Charleston, it was a lot easier for Charleston to travel. Charleston didn't have to work as hard through their conference tournament the way San Diego State did. There were a lot of things going against San Diego State in that game, not to mention the 0-3 for Brian Dutcher in the tournament, the cross-country travel. There were a lot of things that might not work for San Diego State. They got by. Okay, fine.
Mm-hmm.
The next game, though, against Furman pulled one of the shocking upsets of the tournament in knocking off Virginia, which, by the way, we'll get to the other upsets because there were a lot of them. But Furman did San Diego State the favor. In other words, Furman gave up so much in that game against Virginia that to them, playing against Virginia, playing in the NCAA tournament, that was their national championship. And to win that game, you go from that emotional high. Now you got to try and redo it all over again. Whereas San Diego State just kind of took the next step. And so now San Diego State, again, a lot of travel here, probably not going to have a ton of sound and fans around because next one is in Louisville. Isn't that right, Alex?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So look, I think that San Diego State had the easier path to get here. Not that Alabama, the number one seed in the entire tournament, not that they were really pushed. I mean, they blew out Texas A&M CC, whatever the CC stands for. I always think of that as being community college. And then they beat Maryland by 20 plus. So Alabama has also had kind of an easy path here, but Maryland from the ACC, or now I guess the Big Ten, Maryland seems to be a better opponent than Furman. So I guess what I'm getting at is that San Diego State should be fresh and ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
You should see the very, very best of San Diego State put out their best effort. If they lose against Alabama and they make it to the Sweet 16, which they have, everybody will be like, wow, good season. If they happen to pull the upset, which I know I have them pulling the upset in my brackets, this would be an absolutely monumental moment in the history of San Diego State sports and certainly in the history of San Diego State basketball.
It would be
Have they beaten teams with bigger brand names than Alabama? Yes, they have. Yes, San Diego State has beaten bigger brand names than Alabama. Because Alabama is not Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, UCLA. They're not even Gonzaga. Alabama, it's kind of new territory for them.
It is, but they are the number one overall seed. They've been the best team all year. So when you say that, yeah, sure, but last year's don't matter. This year's what matters, and I think that's kind of
doubt.
It is the moment that this program has been waiting for. It is the moment that this program doesn't have under its belt. The moment of knocking off a big number one seed, a moment of making it as far as you've ever advanced, and a real chance to make it to the Final Four because Princeton has been doing your job for you on the other end. So you don't have to play Arizona. You don't got to play Baylor. You got to play either Creighton, who would be sweet revenge. Now I'm getting way ahead of myself, but Creighton with that knocked you out last year because you just totally collapsed in the second half. I think beating Alabama, if you are able to, which is a big if, in my opinion, you got a real shot to make the Final Four. You got a real shot. And even if you don't, just beating Alabama is already a signature moment. Because, yeah, you beat Charleston. No one's going to remember that. You beat Furman. No one's going to remember that. But the way they performed against Furman, a lot of talking heads sound like Browner. A lot of talking heads on television are telling you that defense, that relentless effort on defense, and their size, and if they can make shots, they have a real chance of making it.
Yep. Hey, listen, and on the other side, you mentioned it. And if you could put the bracket up for a quick second, Alex, take a look at where we are here in the Sweet 16. I know we're just getting on the air, everybody, but we're kind of going right in because it's Monday and there's a lot of stuff we want to get to. Alabama plays San Diego State. On the other side is Creighton versus Princeton. Princeton has been one of the truly great stories thus far of the NCAA tournament. I mentioned to you last week, there's this kid from La Jolla Country Day named Ryan Langborg. And this kid is probably, I'm going to take a guess because my son's 22. This kid's got to be 23 years old and has been at it for a really long time. And, I remember him in high school. I believe there was a leg injury and sitting out for a year and then transferring to a school. And he's just been a grinder his whole life. And so there is a San Diego connection to Princeton. But on the other side of the bracket, just, oh, by the way, put up the round of 16 one more time. How about Florida Atlantic? Guys, when I grew up in South Florida, Florida Atlantic was this little tiny school in Boca Raton. There was no football. There was no basketball. FAU has made it to the Sweet 16, taking on Tennessee. And then down on the other side, Kansas State and Michigan State. How about Michigan State? Like not really on anybody's radar, a 7 seed. But, man, Tom Izzo put him in the tournament. That guy knows how to win. On the other side, Houston and Miami. Xavier knocked out my Pitt Panthers, taking on Texas. Then you got Arkansas. What a shocker. Arkansas knocking out Kansas against UConn. UConn's back. And then look at the bottom. Another Gonzaga versus UCLA matchup. Remember that game 2 years ago where Gonzaga beat UCLA, knocked them out. So, and there's been a lot of great Gonzaga UCLA games in the NCAA tournament. So Sweet 16, it's going to be a big story as the week goes on for sure. Alex, show us
no
some
favors,
of the,
though, being put in the South. I say it again, no favors by the committee putting San Diego State in the South. They had to travel cross country to go to Orlando. They played two teams that was a much closer drive, not a flight, cross country to them. They came back home immediately Saturday, so they're back in San Diego. And I'm assuming Wednesday, I don't know, maybe Tuesday night, you fly back across country, basically, go to Kentucky and play in Louisville. And that is a very short drive for Alabama fans. So no favors being done at all by the committee being put in the South, especially when you got the West out here playing in Vegas. That would have been amazing. But it is what it is. You're chartering. You're not flying Southwest. You got luxurious travel. I've traveled with San Diego State. It's nice. It's not that bad. So no excuses there. But it is a lot of back and forth flying cross country, a lot of time zones. But, I mean, it is what it is. You got to take on the number 1 seed regardless. So,
hey, listen, this is the opportunity that every kid who's playing for San Diego State right now has dreamt of. If you came to San Diego State and you thought, hey, we can be more than Mountain West Conference champions. We can go deeper in the tournament than the Sweet 16, which is as far as San Diego State's ever been. Not only do you get a shot here to get further, you got the number 1 team in the entire tournament. And Alex, if you put up on the screen for everybody the upsets that have happened so far in this tournament. I mean, if I were Coach Dutcher, I'd be just telling everybody, hey, look, I know people will consider it an upset. We're 8-point underdogs, but Fairleigh Dickinson knocked out number 1 Purdue. The shortest team, Fairleigh Dickinson, in the entire tournament beat Purdue number 1, which has the tallest player, like 7'4".
What a joke
Princeton,
that was, by the way.
I mean, crazy, right? Princeton has knocked out number 2 Arizona and number 7 Missouri. Furman, who San Diego State knocked out, beat number 4 Virginia, a national champion from just a few years ago. I mentioned Arkansas knocking out number 1 Kansas, and even Michigan State beating number 2 Marquette. Monster upsets. If Fairleigh Dickinson can beat Purdue, San Diego State can beat Alabama. And I know that San Diego State is way bigger and better than Fairleigh Dickinson, but nobody gave Fairleigh Dickinson a chance.
You know what's nuts about Fairleigh Dickinson?
Tommy.
They play in the I'm trying to remember. Okay, there it is. Northeast Conference Tournament, the NCT.
Now, check me on this. Did they not win that tournament?
They are not tournament champions. They lost the championship game to Merrimack, who I believe is like USD ineligible to play in postseason play because they just moved up.
Yep.
So FDU wasn't even their own crappy conference champions, and they beat number 1 Purdue.
I know, and it's such a BS thing that Merrimack, is that whatever it is, the fact that they were not allowed in the NCAA tournament because they're moving from Division II to Division I is such nonsense. Because I saw the same thing happen at USD, where a bunch of kids were should have been able to compete at a higher level, and this whole restriction by the NCAA kept these kids out. So,
well, the NCAA have a dumb rule? No way, that never happens.
All right, listen, we got a lot to get to as the afternoon goes on. I want to hear a bunch of the post-game sound and, the post-game sights and sounds, locker room stuff with Coach Dutcher. We'll get to all that coming up. Hey, before we do, let me take a minute here in the opening segment of today's show to mention the newest sponsor to be joining the show, and that is MedCline. MedCline, M-E-D, medcline.com/greatfriends. Medcline.com/greatfriends. Browner, I don't know if you've gotten your MedCline system yet.
Not yet.
Okay, Alex and I both have ours. I use the shoulder relief system. Alex, I know you're using the acid reflux system. If you go to the website, and Alex is taking us through it right now, go to our website, kaplanandcrew.com, click on MedCline, and you're going to go right there. And then a 20% offer is going to jump up on your screen for all great friends. But what's great about this website is go read the story, learn about the doctor, Dr. Melcher, who is a professor at UCSD who created this system. This is a San Diego-based company. If you have questions, they have one-on-one sleep specialists available to you. As you scroll down, there's further testimonials. There's one thing that's really important. The sleep systems are covered by VA benefits. So if that's something that you're eligible for, but understanding how you can get shoulder relief, how you can get reflux relief, things that will keep you up at night and bother you further throughout the day. This could be a really big help to you. So if you have any problems sleeping, go to medcline.com/greatfriends and save 20% with this local San Diego company that is a new partner here on Kaplan and Crew. And we appreciate you guys. Rick Slider, the CEO, and everybody who works at MedCline who's listening on the radio right now. Hey, you guys do a great job. Huge company selling internationally right here in home base, San Diego. All right, coming up, let's go deeper into the Aztecs. I want to get to World Baseball Classic. I want to get to Padres spring training and so much more. Stick around. This is Kaplan and Crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studio.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the mightier1090.com.
An ADU is accessory dwelling unit, and it's become one of the most popular solutions to housing in the United States. We constructed this to provide housing for my mother, who is elderly.
Well, I wanted to downsize. At my age, that's what I wanted to do. Eric engaged the services of Murray Lambert, a top building company.
This is an 825 square foot structure, but it actually looks more like 1,000 because of the spatial considerations. Micah was great. He took the ball and ran with it and came up with this really great combination.
It always appealed to me, high ceilings. It gives a sense of space, of openness, and I like that. Oh, I would give this experience a 10 for sure. Plus, 10 plus.
Hey, Hoop fans, it's Victor Howell here, host of the NCAA Tournament Special, Breaking Down the Madness. Each week during the tournament, we'll assemble a panel of regional experts that follow your local team all the way to the Final Four. Highlights, predictions, interviews, and much, much more as we break down the madness right here on Your View.
Breaking Down the Madness is brought to you by your San Diego County Toyota dealers. We make it easy.
Since 1975, San Diegans have trusted the Murray Lambert family for their home remodeling projects. We continue our commitment to deliver high-quality home remodeling and construction to our customers without an expensive showroom.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring value to your home, our team has the experience to handle everything. Plus, our strong relationships with the city makes adding on easier for homeowners.
Visit murraylambert.com for your consultation.
The #1 disease in the world, according to World Health Organization, is dental disease. For 25 years, we've had one of the most leading group dental practices in the country. Imagine you're a parent, you're a mom or a dad, and you have a 2-year-old that doesn't get any cavities, and you have a 12-year-old that has a soda habit and gets a ton of cavities. Well, how do you determine what oral care products to get? It's really mind-boggling that currently there does not exist an oral care product company that specializes for kids. So we thought this is a great opportunity to get into that space and revolutionize oral care for kids. We have every single product that every parent needs for every person in that family. It's very comprehensive. The next thing is we customize your oral care products. Someone who has a lot of gum disease probably requires different sets of oral care products that someone has a very, very healthy mouth. And it's also conveniently shipped to your home every 3 to 6 months. Make sure you go to supermouth.com and check out all the educational content. And of course, check out our profile builder to get the right products for every family member.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Listen to the Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the Mightier1090.com. We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew Show on the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Hey, Hoop fans, it's Victor Howell here, host of the NCAA Tournament Special, Breaking Down the Madness. Each week during the tournament, we'll assemble a panel of regional experts that follow your local team all the way to the Final Four. Highlights, predictions, interviews, and much, much more as we break down the madness right here on Your View.
Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and find your big fitness energy in a clean and spacious judgment-free zone. Deal in soon. See Home Club for details.
The number one disease in the world, according to World Health Organization, is dental disease. For 25 years, we've had one of the most leading group dental practices in the country. Imagine you're a parent, you're a mom or a dad, and you have a 2-year-old that doesn't get any cavities, and you have a 12-year-old that has a soda habit and gets a ton of cavities. Well, how do you determine what oral care products to get? It's really mind-boggling that currently there does not exist an oral care product company that specializes for kids. So we thought this is a great opportunity to get into that space and revolutionize oral care for kids. We have every single product that every parent needs for every person in that family. It's very comprehensive. The next thing is we customize your oral care products. Someone who has a lot of gum disease probably requires different sets of oral care products that someone has a very, very healthy mouth. And it's also conveniently shipped to your home every 3 to 6 months. Make sure you go to supermouth.com and check out all the educational content, and of course check out our profile builder to get the right products for every family member.
We're adopting dogs from local shelters, training them for post 9/11 combat veterans, and we're able to donate these trained dogs to deserving veterans in need. Service dogs can range anywhere from $15,000 to $35,000, $40,000. And for someone getting out of the military that's seeking support and help, having that sort of price tag is daunting. So we really wanted to be able to support the veterans to make sure that they're getting a dog that they need in their life at no charge.
I was in a very dark place. I was having suicidal thoughts, and I really needed an immediate help. We don't know if tomorrow is going to be there for us. So I found Shelter the Soldier online, and I reached out, and somebody contacted me within 24 hours. And in the next couple of weeks, I was already in the program meeting dogs.
Your View Community Spotlight is brought to you by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Flood.
An ADU is accessory dwelling unit, and it's become one of the most popular solutions to housing in the United States. We constructed this to provide housing for my mother, who is elderly.
Well, I wanted to downsize. At my age, that's what I wanted to do. Eric engaged the services of Murray Lambert, a top building company.
This is an 825 square foot structure, but it actually looks more like 1,000 because of the spatial considerations. Micah was great. He took the ball and ran with it and came up with this really great combination.
It always appealed to me, high ceilings. It gives a sense of space, of openness, and I like that. Oh, I would give this experience a 10 for sure. Plus, 10 plus.
For many consumers, sleeping at night should be an easy experience. For many, it's not. There are a number of reasons for that. Most notably, those that suffer from acid reflux or heartburn. There are also many individuals dealing with various pains or ailments. MedCline is a sleep solution company with our goal to allow people to have a healthy and peaceful night's sleep. And we do that with our therapeutic side sleeping systems. Our patented, clinically studied MedCline relief systems are designed to place an adult in an elevated side sleeping position, which can help them reduce the symptoms or issues they're dealing with. MedCline systems are registered with the FDA, and as a medical product, MedCline systems are qualified for use with FSA and HSA funds. For anyone looking for more information, you can visit medcline.com/sleepbetter.
I was injured in a car crash. I had no idea how much my case was worth. I called the Barnes firm.
When the truck hit my son, I had so many questions about his case. I called the Barnes firm. It was the best call I could have made.
Your case is often worth more than insurance offers. Call the Barnes firm to find out what your case could be worth. We will help you get the best result possible.
The Barnes firm. Injury attorneys. Call 1-800-8-MILLION.
Since 1975, San Diegans have trusted the Murray-Lampert family for their home remodeling projects. We continue our commitment to deliver high-quality home remodeling and construction to our customers without an expensive showroom.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring value to your home, our team has the experience to handle everything. Plus, our strong relationships with the city makes adding on easier for homeowners.
Visit murraylampert.com for your consultation.
Hey, Hoop fans, it's Victor Howell here, host of the NCAA Tournament special, Breaking Down the Madness. Each week during the tournament, we'll assemble a panel of regional experts that follow your local team all the way to the Final Four. Highlights, predictions, interviews, and much, much more as we break down the madness right here on Your View.
Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and find your big fitness energy in a clean and spacious judgment-free zone. Deal in soon. See Home Club for details.
An ADU is an accessory dwelling unit, and it's become one of the most popular solutions to housing in the United States. We constructed this to provide housing for my mother, who is elderly.
Well, I wanted to downsize. At my age, that's what I wanted to do. Eric engaged the services of Murray-Lampert, a top building company.
This is an 825 square foot structure, but it actually looks more like 1,000 because of the spatial considerations. Micah was great. He took the ball and ran with it and came up with this really great combination.
It always appealed to me, high ceilings. It gives a sense of space, of openness, and I like that. Oh, I would give this experience a 10 for sure. Plus, 10 plus.
Learn about the many health benefits of MedCline pillows, from easing shoulder pain, reflux relief, and just getting a great night of sleep. Watch Your Health only on Your View, Sundays at 4:30 p.m. Brought to you by MedCline. Sleep better, feel better, live better.
The #1 disease in the world, according to World Health Organization, is dental disease. For 25 years, we've had one of the most leading group dental practices in the country. Imagine you're a parent, you're a mom or a dad, and you have a 2-year-old that doesn't get any cavities, and you have a 12-year-old that has a soda habit and gets a ton of cavities. Well, how do you determine what oral care products to get? It's really mind-boggling that currently there does not exist an oral care product company that specializes for kids. So we thought this is a great opportunity to get into that space and revolutionize oral care for kids. We have every single product that every parent needs for every person in that family. It's very comprehensive. The next thing is we customize your oral care products. Someone who has a lot of gum disease probably requires different sets of oral care products that someone has a very, very healthy mouth. And it's also conveniently shipped to your home every 3 to 6 months. Make sure you go to supermouth.com and check out all the educational content. And of course, check out our profile builder to get the right products for every family member.
Take a look at all of this.
Culture, lifestyle, food. Oh, and the food.
Hey everybody, it's JR Cardenas. Join Vanessa Ramirez and I as we celebrate all this y más
on Su Vida. Every week, we'll bring you the latest in entertainment, culinary arts, music, people, and community, all with that Hispanic twist. Watch Su Vida Sunday and Monday night only on Your View.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
All right, great friends. What's happening? Today is Monday. It is March 20th, and this is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. I got more coming up on San Diego State's win and advancement into the Sweet 16. I'll get there in just a minute. I want to get to Padres spring training because I feel like that's kind of gone on the back burner as we've been talking a lot of World Baseball Classic and more San Diego State, more NCAA Tournament. So we'll get there. Plus, last week there was a lot of NFL free agency. So we'll get to all of it on the way. Hey, Alex, I want to tell you that hung out this past weekend with Big Brown on Saturday night. We spent a little bit of time with Big Brown. Brown, can I say that on the air? Is it okay to say that we actually had just a little bit of social time? Is that okay?
No, fam. I saw you though.
Oh, so we didn't have social time. We just saw each other.
I saw you.
That's the end of it?
That's it.
That's all you got.
Were you guys rejoicing in nature's tease of weather when it was 76 degrees on Saturday? Were you guys out and about, holding hands at the park, enjoying the weather?
All the wins ain't really necessary. I saw the man, he saw me. You know, libations was had, and next.
All I can tell you is this: I won't say where I saw Browner. I should have checked with Browner beforehand to see if it was okay to say that I saw the man on a weekend. But the Linda.
I'll be around. I'll be around, bro. I'll be around.
Our girl Linda Welby, she her husband Austin, his band Overboard, they performed a bunch for us at different events. They do an amazing yacht rock show, and I've been on a little bit of a yacht rock kick lately. And we went down to Tio Leo's to see him on Saturday night. And Grande, it occurred to me because last week we were having this whole conversation about 4 years ago, what was going on about this time of the year, radio station going off the air, et cetera. 3 years ago around this time, we don't know that COVID's about to hit and the world is about to change. Well, on Saturday night, I was down at Tio Leo's by USD, and it all kind of came rushing back to me. Oh my God, we were having this conversation last week. And literally 4 years ago, when the station went off the air, we told everybody, hey, we're all going to Tio Leo's. Linda's husband's band is playing, Band Overboard. And that was actually a crazy night, as it turned out. But there we were 4 years later, back to the same spot. And it was awesome. Saturday night was great. It really was. Tio Leo's, they do a good job, man, of clearing out that bar and making it into a club at night. Not a nightclub, Alex, just a club.
Right. Good job.
Yeah, thank you. It was awesome. We had a great time. And then here comes Brown walking in. And I was like, my man, he didn't stay long, in and out, Quickie visit.
Quickie visit. Like most things.
I don't think Tio Leo's has espresso martinis. That's probably why.
Hey, don't, bro. Them drinks be heavy-handed. It's like they're
Yeah.
trying to get you to take a nap in there.
I had a good time there Halloween weekend. That was the last time I saw Band Overboard there.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah, I said to you, come on down, join us. At the time, neither of you guys accepted my invitation. Brown was like, nah, I'm doing other things. And then, Alex, you said you were kind of still recovering from Friday night. Is that true?
Mm-hmm. Multiple green beers, multiple Irish car bombs.
Oh.
2 a.m. the kind of night. Woke up early to watch Aztecs kick some ass. Cleaned the entire pad. Had a nice, Browner, you're like this, had a nice dinner at Cheesecake Factory.
Woo!
Yeah, sure. Hey, I don't know how we ended up there. I don't know. Me and my wife ended up at Cheesecake Factory.
Because it's delicious. That's how you ended up there. What kind of statement is that?
And I was telling her that you're Team Gumbo at Cheesecake Factory.
All day.
But she got the jambalaya. And I was like, that's not what Browner said is
Wrong
good.
move. Wrong move.
I went with a steak. I don't know why. I just wanted a nice piece of meat.
At Cheesecake Factory?
Yeah.
A steak
I don't
at
know
the
why,
Cheesecake
dude.
Factory?
I don't
Really?
know why. It just I went with it.
Fam, come on.
Yeah,
Had the
better off with a burger.
I had the
Yeah, that menu
hey,
like 19 pages. You chose a steak?
Yeah, you know why? Because we stupid. We was driving down the 8, and I was like, yo, let's go to Outback. Let's get a steak. Like some and she was like,
so you did it.
steak. And I was like, yeah, sounds good. Nice piece of meat sounds good right now. So I think it was in my mind. I was ready to go and get like chicken Bellagio, like a pasta,
Yeah.
I was ready to do a whole cheesecake.
I don't know why you and your wife, though, when you guys go out to dinner, especially now that you're on this I Thrive plan and you guys have both lost, a bunch of weight, and you in particular have just gotten completely flacco, so skinny. I don't know why you guys just don't go to a restaurant and go, here's what we want. We want a salad and an entree. We're going to split it all because you can't eat like how much of the steak did you eat?
I ate the entire piece of meat and barely touched the mashed potatoes. Like I think like 2 bites of the mashed potatoes, and I probably had like half the green beans. She took 2 bites of her pasta and brought it all home because we split the steak a little bit, and then we had the Texas egg rolls or something like that. Like all those came back home too. So why did we do that? This is what I just remembered why we had the Cheesecake Factory. We were both craving very different things. So I was like, what's a better
where you
place to
go.
go when 2 people want 2 totally different things? Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, I mean, it's like practically a diner menu, you know? I mean, it's just got
Mhm.
everything on it, you know?
Mhm.
All right. well,
A fine diner, sir. A
yeah.
fine diner.
I
I
mean,
will
I'm
not
not
allow
knocking it.
disrespect.
I'm not knocking
I will
it.
not allow
Diners are great.
disrespect on this show.
I found
love
out about
diners.
Browner's love of Cheesecake Factory in Miami, of all places.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of COVID and 4 years ago, whatever it was, that we had a Cheesecake Factory dinner in Fort Lauderdale.
Lauderdale.
Mhm.
Lauderdale.
Mhm.
I'll go to Cheesecake Factory any day, any time of the week. No questions asked. If you tell me you want to go to Cheesecake Factory, I'm like, whose car we taking? That's it. That's it.
All right, well there you go. Little weekend wrap up. I know Friday night, man, I had a green beer after we had this whole conversation about how I don't usually drink green beer. I did have a green beer on Friday afternoon. I had met a friend for lunch, and then on Friday night, I don't know where the hell we were, but I don't know, we were out and about, and then I had to wake up super early Saturday to get up to Orange County to go to this pickleball event, which was a lot of fun. It's great. It was a long day though. I mean, I must have played like 4 hours of pickleball. And then Saturday night, we went down to Tio Leo's, which was great. Saw a band overboard, got in an Uber, came all the way back up. You ready for that? We went to the Kraken after going to Tio Leo's. Browner, we finished the night at the Kraken.
Oh my God.
I know. It was
I
one
feel
of
like
those.
I feel like the Kraken is like the North County Red Wings of North Park. People just end up there.
Yeah. We just ended up there. I don't know who the band was.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to end up in Red Wing.
There's such a line. It's such a
Yeah,
line.
you get to that. The line at Red Wing will defeat any momentum you have when you get to it. No,
we
I'm
don't.
out.
I'm not doing that. Yeah, and in fact, on Sunday when we were all talking about Saturday night, I was like, wait, I don't remember that. I don't. It was one of those kinds of nights
Nice.
where you're like, I don't remember that at all.
Oh yeah, baby. I
Not
love
one
those
bit.
nights.
Yeah. All right, listen, let's get back to San Diego State. We are in the 7 Mile Casino studios, 7milecasino.com. I will just take a minute. Hey, Alex, you mentioned how you guys brought home all those leftovers. I guess this would be a good time to just tell everybody about our friends at iThrive MD. Here's the phone number for those of you that are driving around, 858-240-1497, 858-240-1497. If you want to lose weight, I mean, the best way to do it is just eat less. And what's happening to Alex is he's on this product, iThrive Lean, and I mean, I don't need to speak to you, Alex, but you just can't eat as much, I guess, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And it's just part of my life now, which is great.
Yeah.
Lost a pound last week, so we're down for about 43 for the total.
43
And,
pounds.
Yeah.
Amazing. Truly amazing.
Feel
Here's what
great.
You do, huh? You feel good?
Yeah, I do.
I'll bet. I mean, losing all that weight probably doesn't feel as hard walking upstairs. You know,
I never had trouble with it, but yeah, I guess when you put it that way,
Yeah.
Good for your knees.
Yeah, it's probably really. I should go running. I should see how the knees really feel now. So
I wouldn't do that yet.
Now I'm ready.
Yeah, don't get
Okay.
crazy. iThrive MD. Go to our website, kaplanandcrew.com. Click on iThrive. You'll learn all about iThrive Lean. You don't have to change your diet. You don't have to change your exercise routine. All you have to do is take this one little injection each week, and the weight starts falling off. And then you start to realize that I can't eat possibly anywhere near what I used to. And by the way, I was way overeating. And you'll save $200 in the first 2 months. $200 month one, $200 month two. It does jump up in month three. But by that time, the weight's falling off. You're saving money on your grocery bills. You're saving money on eating out. And it all kind of evens itself out. So check him out, iThrive MD. And Dr. Damani, when he's driving around and he's listening on radio, he likes to hear the phone number, 858-240-1497. Start losing weight with our friends at iThrive. Okay, let's go back to San Diego State. So, Alex, take us through what we all should see here, which is after San Diego State beats Furman quite easily and advances to the Sweet 16, let's kind of take a look at what happens after the game and coach and the players and the locker room and everything else. What are we looking at?
Here's Coach Dutch immediately in the locker room.
Fellas, we are so connected at both ends of the floor. We're going to be hard to beat. Like I said, if we find the team to beat us, we'll tip our hats to them. But right now, that team, we haven't seen that team. So keep playing up to our standard, play as hard as we can, as long as we can, and let's ride this further, okay?
Great job, boys! Yes, sir! Team on 3, family on 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, family!
I love that. I actually have goosebumps just watching that. You know, team on 3, 1, 2, 3, family on 6, 4, 5, 6. And what I love is I love the word that Coach Dutcher has been using. And we are all getting access to the locker room stuff, so we get to hear it. Connected. Yeah. We're so connected on both ends of the floor. The way we play, the way we communicate. We haven't found a team that can beat us yet. When we do, we'll tip our cap. Hey, it might be Alabama. They're the number 1 team. They are the number 1 team in the tournament. But we've already seen number 1s get knocked out. And look, I get it. They play in the SEC. They play in a much better conference than the Mountain West. And the Mountain West hasn't had any success in the tournament. And San Diego State is carrying the flag. But when I look at these San Diego State players, different than any generation of San Diego State basketball previous to this, these players look different to me. I don't know if they've changed their weight coach. I don't know if they've changed their weight regimen. I don't know if they've started to change these guys' nutrition. I'm telling you, they look bigger, stronger, more muscular than ever before. And I'll just say this. If San Diego State can play their best and Alabama brings their best, we're going to see a war. We're going to see a real game. Because if Alabama's best is 20 points better than San Diego State's best, then tip your cap and move on. But I don't think it is. I would say this. San Diego State versus Alabama on a neutral floor, if they both bring their A games, you can throw out the 8-point underdog or the 8-point favorite part of it. I mean, to me, it's who's got the ball last and who can make that shot.
I mean, it's probably look different because this team is about 25 years old, like on average. So they have a 9-man rotation, 7 of them seniors. That's why they look different. These are grown men out. This is Mensa and Arope and guys that have been around the program for a long time. I think that is an invaluable thing to have in the tournament. This team, it's not going to get shook. It's not
by anybody.
By anybody. Like, they can go out there. Alabama could go 15-0 run, and that might be the end of the game, but they're not going to look shook after about it. They're just still going to keep going at it.
If they get beat, they'll get beat because the other team is just better. Like, Alabama will, on that day, played better. I don't think they're going to get beat by any outside circumstance of where, oh, they went up against Alabama and it's Alabama. Like, this ain't football.
Right.
Like, this is San Diego State and Alabama football. We're cooked. Right. But in this particular instance, you have guys on your side that can defend their players, with the exception of one. And that's a team thing. No one person can defend that kid at this level. As from a team aspect, though, I have full confidence in them.
Not only do you have the 7 seniors of your 9-man rotation, the other 2 are juniors. This is a very experienced team.
Yeah.
And if you look at what they did against Furman, it was the 2 juniors that really stepped up, in Butler and Parrish, that were really the offensive cogs, but it's all a defensive thing. And, dude, they have 2 defensive players of the year on their team. 2. How does that work? The coaches voted on one, and the media voted on the other, and Butler and Mensa. So, like, this team, and I love what Dutcher said, I believe, going into the tournament. He was asked in one of the press conferences, and he said, if you don't want to play defense, don't come here. Straight up, don't come here. There is a foundation. There is a formula. There is a recipe for success at this university. That Steve Fisher branded, that Brian Dutcher has now basically taken the mantle and taken on the baton and is doing the same thing. We get experienced transfers. We get guys that are hungry to play defense, and just a bunch of, I'll say it, a bunch of dogs. Dude.
Oh,
Just
dogs.
dogs,
Oh,
dude.
we got a bunch of dogs.
We got a bunch of dogs. They're that meme, Browner. When you put photo of the X-ray, there's dogs in there, dude.
Yeah, there's a dog in there. Hey, what
got
else?
a pit bull in the X-ray.
Yeah. What else we got? Let's take a look at some other video from after the game.
Yeah, this is Dutch on campus talking about making the Sweet 16 when they returned from
so this is
wherever
Saturday
they
night.
were, Orlando. Yeah, Saturday night.
By the end of tomorrow, I'll know everything about the team we're playing. So I know it's not over yet, and they're in a competitive game, but whoever we play,
we'll try to be the best version of ourselves. The greatest opponent is ourselves. We have to play up to our standard, and if we do that, we'll have a chance to win. I mean, we've always had a great culture. Steve Fisher built this culture. So we're used to winning games. We're used to winning important games. And so the challenge is to maintain the culture and grow the culture. You know, we said a long time ago, we want to make it to a Final Four and win a national championship. So we're one of 16 teams with a chance to do that. So we got to see if we're up to that performance level or not. We'll know on Friday night.
Yep, we will. Hey, I'm so happy for Brian Dutcher and Coach. I know, I know that even to this day, you and your wife, Coach Fisher, and the whole family still are 1090 listeners, because as Coach Fisher has said many times, you know, it was this radio station back then that helped build San Diego State's basketball reputation. I say build. I mean, the team did it, the coaching did it, the players did it, but we were there for it all. We were hyping it all. And so there's still listeners on radio. And I couldn't be happier for Coach Dutcher, just because when he took over the team, I just remember people, you know, sort of doubting, should they go outside of the Fisher family? Should they go find somebody else? And then the first year, things didn't go so great. It was actually, I think, year 2 where people were starting to question Dutcher. And then they gave him a contract extension. He's making a lot more money. And by the way, worth it all. Remember, there was a time we thought he might leave and go to Minnesota. Remember that? That whole episode?
Number one party school in America.
I mean, he has been as committed to this program as they have been to Coach Fisher before him and now to him. Keep paying, man. Keep him around. You know, keep letting him build this program.
Two things.
It's great.
One, where's Minnesota? Where's San Diego State? Minnesota, you clearly made a mistake. That's one. Two, most importantly, San Diego State students, okay? When they get off the bus and all they see are people over the age of 40, that's not awesome. What y'all doing? What y'all doing? Come out of the house. Support these dudes, okay?
Well, it is true.
That crowd got to be better. Come on.
Well, did you guys see the one guy, Chet? You know, he's the older black dude who does like the cartwheels, you know, at the games and stuff. He's out there with all of his gear on, like, and I'm with you. Like, these kids probably got off the bus, like, where's the chicks? I'm like, where are the sorority girls that have been drinking in the meantime, waiting for us?
That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, what? Children, listen.
Listen, sorority girls and everybody stay away till the team's done, okay? No distractions.
Yeah. No. You got
this is the old Mick Rocky thing, right? Don't touch, no ladies, no women.
You got plenty of time.
Or whoever.
Till Friday.
None of
right?
that. None of that.
It's like one of them NFL things where you go, all right, y'all, we'll see y'all Tuesday. One of those.
Yeah.
All right.
Come on.
Pretty funny though, Scott. Like, you're talking about Minnesota, we're talking about all that stuff. Pretty funny how, you know, Dutcher doesn't pull out that ugly win against Charleston. That conversation is very different. I know we weren't having it, but when you go 0-4 in the tournament, I think it's a valid argument to have. But now, how quickly it changes.
Right.
Now you're like, you can't lose this guy.
No.
Yeah.
What a great job he's done. And look, I don't think that there's a whole lot of schools around the country that are looking for a coach who has been at one school for the last 20 plus years, and I don't know how old Brian Dutcher is. He's got to be in I'm guessing his early 60s, be a guess. So it's not like you're looking for somebody who's going to be your coach for the next 10 years. I mean, he's
63.
He is San Diego State's coach. He's 63 years old, and he is San Diego State's coach, and he's going to be San Diego State's coach. And when he decides to finish at San Diego State, there's probably somebody else on that coaching staff that's been part of the family for so long that they just do it the Fisher-Dutcher way. And there's a lot of guys on that staff that have been here. I mean, David Velasquez has been there forever.
Yep.
You know, he's grown
I
up
love
in that
him on the
program.
sidelines, by the way. He's the most animated assistant coach in the history of assistant coaches. I love him so much. Like, if he does become a head coach, this dude might be on all fours during a game, just like yelling and pounding the hardwood like he's playing defense. I
Yeah.
love Dave Velasquez on the sideline.
Yep. Shout out to you, Coach. Hey, so now, Alex, set us up. I know it's only Monday, and we've got a whole week to kind of dissect it all and learn more about Alabama, but just the early week kind of tail of the tape as to who Alabama is. Because again, if you're a college basketball junkie, you know this stuff. If you're like me, which I think most of us are, you know, we don't really start getting into it until now. So go for it, Alex. Set up Alabama versus San Diego State.
Going into the tournament, 31-5, regular and tournament SEC champions, 82.3 points per game, which I believe was like 7th in the country, 68 points allowed. And like I said here, San Diego State shoots better from the three, 34%, but Alabama, very, very good rebounding team as well. They got a lot of size. And going into the game, early line, Alabama favored by 7 on Friday, 3:30 TBS.
So before this week is up, can somebody do some research here? And I would say the best person to do this job is Grande. Can we learn about what the deal is with Alabama? Like I've said it over and over again. I only know like the headline, and I wouldn't even pay attention
When you were
to
gone,
it.
me and Browner and Law had dissected the entire Brandon Miller.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you
Well,
were-
then
you-
you don't have to go do the
yeah.
research. You just have to rehash the research.
Yeah,
for
you
me.
were gone, I believe, 2 days, and we were like, "What is going on?"
Yeah.
with Brandon Miller and this program.
I would like to hear more about it, and I'm sure a lot of other people would as well. Now, if everybody heard it when you guys did it when I was gone, so be it. But I'd like to hear about it. All right, stick around. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios talking a lot of college hoops so far, but let's talk a little Padres spring training and World Baseball Classic. Coming right back. This is Kaplan and Crew.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Locally owned and operated, not some bland, uninspired, corporate, cookie-cutter radio station crap. We simply say to those stations, Q. The mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Murray Lampert now brings architectural and interior design to a whole new level for your remodel, ADU, or whole house build.
We're truly a team at Murray Lampert Design, Build, Remodel, and we don't take that lightly.
Visit murraylampert.com.
This is a huge wall. I'm sure it presented some challenges.
You're right, Sarah. And what it was in the model we noticed there was too much wood. This was supposed to be clad. And with the beautiful stairs and railings, we realized that we need to come up with a different finish. So we used these reglets that are metal with the drywall, and it gave it this grid look that also matches up with the beams.
Wow, that came out beautiful. If you want to see how they conquered more design challenges, check out Our Family, Your Home.
I was injured in a car crash. I had no idea how much my case was worth. I called the Barnes firm.
When a truck hit my son, I had so many questions about his case. I called the Barnes firm. It was the best call I could have made.
Your case is often worth more than insurance offers. Call the Barnes firm to find out what your case could be worth. We will help you get the best result possible.
The Barnes Firm. Injury attorneys. Call 1-800-8-million.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to your home, our experience plus our strong relationship with the city makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
At Murray Lampert, we listen to you first, then design and build. Visit murraylampert.com.
If you're going to count yourself as a fan of this radio station, you'll need to continuously ask yourself one basic question. Am I listening enough? Pro tip, wives are not a good source for input on this. This is the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to your home, our experience plus our strong relationship with the city makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
At Murray Lampert, we listen to you first, then design and build. Visit murraylampert.com.
For many consumers, sleeping at night should be an easy experience. For many, it's not. There are a number of reasons for that, most notably those that suffer from acid reflux or heartburn. There are also many individuals dealing with various pains or ailments. MedCline is a sleep solution company with our goal to allow people to have a healthy and peaceful night's sleep. And we do that with our therapeutic side sleeping systems. Our patented, clinically studied MedCline relief systems are designed to place an adult in an elevated side sleeping position, which can help them reduce the symptoms or issues they're dealing with. MedCline systems are registered with the FDA, and as a medical product, MedCline systems are qualified for use with FSA and HSA funds. For anyone looking for more information, you can visit medcline.com/sleepbetter.
Welcome to the Super Dentists, where kids are the center of our universe. Serving San Diego for over 25 years, the Super Dentists offer the newest dental technologies to provide safe and comfortable treatments for the entire family. We've reimagined the entire dental experience by creating a fun and engaging atmosphere featuring our heroic dentists and award-winning super crew. Book your appointment now. Extended hours and Saturday appointments available. Call or text 855-GO-SUPER or visit thesuperdentist.com.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
So I told him I'm in the mood for tacos, and he says,
I know a great place. Come on, let's go. We get here, and she says,
vegan tacos? Are you kidding me?